What's good, YouTube? Galladite 74 here, and today I'm going to bring you my first ever top 10, being my top 10 favorite Pokemon. This was a hard list to make, and since this is my first top 10, I'm sure there will be changes coming around for my top 10s in the future and all, and about that. But yeah, this is my personal list. This is 100% opinionated, so if you guys want to put your top 10 in the comments, I would allow you guys to do that. That would be nice. And so yeah, just don't get butthurt if a Pokemon you hate is on this list. And I'm sure in a couple months this will change. But first, alright, I guess I'll just start this list now. Before we start, I'm gonna list some honorable mentions. Before I start, I do want to say that there are no Gen 6 Pokemon on this list, and there's also no Gen 3 Pokemon, just due to personal opinion. But honorable anyway, Sceptile, because it's my favorite starter from the Hoenn, and just my favorite Pokemon from Hoenn in general. I really like using it, especially its Mega form. But yeah, that's it. Empoleon and Infernape, I really like these starters in the Sinnoh. They really shine out to me. Especially Empoleon, I just had to throw in Infernape because Infernape's pretty cool too. He's my favorite of the fire fighting. And Beartic, my favorite typing, Ice. Not many love for, actually, surprisingly, not many of the Pokemon that are here are Ice types, but I really like Beartic. Polar Bears are really amazing, even though they can kill you. I still like them a lot. And, of course, Shiny Heatmor. Come on, that looks sick. Number 10. Simipour. Yeah, I already feel the dislikes coming into this video, but just let me explain real fast. Back when Black and White first came out, I got White version, and I didn't know that there's going to be a completely new Pokédex coming out, so I was very shy in the game, I would say, and I only caught 4 Pokemon. Well, technically, I owned 4 Pokemon. I only caught 2, actually, on my first run-through. Snivy being my starter, which evolved into Serperior, who I really like. Then I got the Simipour or Panpour as that monkey that you get. And at first I was just like, alright, whatever. And then I caught a Pidove with Unpheasant, which I don't really like, to be honest. Staraptor and Pidgeot are way better than, even Swellow is better than Unpheasant. And then I got a Druagon, which I later learned really just wasn't good. So it was basically Serperior and Simipour, who I really liked on my team. And just Simipour really helped me out throughout the entire walkthrough. And that's why I like Simipour. Number 9. Houndoom. Yes, I love this Pokemon so much, and Mega Houndoom. If you have a dog, and you add fire, with some sick looks, and that stare, you get Houndoom. I remember facing Karen in the Elite Four of Johto and her Houndoom with Nasty Plot. Oh man, that was bad memories, but I love using Houndoom, and Mega Houndoom, especially Mega Houndoom. I feel like it's very underestimated, and I like using moves like Flamethrower and Dark Pulse, and it's just a great looking Pokemon. I haven't ran it on all of my teams, but if I ever do see the chance to get it, I definitely will be able to use it. Number 8. Gengar, the OG ghost of Generation 1. I had to put a Generation 1 Pokemon on here because, you know, that's kind of obvious, but anyway, I had to go for the Gengar, because Gengar is my favorite Pokemon from Generation 1. It got a Mega Evolution, which is alright, I guess, but I do like original Gengar as well. When Pokemon Go was announced, Gengar was the first thought in my head once I learned it was the first 151 Pokemon. That was just the Pokemon I really wanted, and it's a really cool Ghost type. I have to say, it's my favorite Ghost type, without a doubt. And in the anime, I really like it in the anime. Its personality, along with Haunter and Ghastly, are very funny. It's nice to just not be spooky and more like funny around, messing around. You know what I mean? That's what I like about Gengar. Number 7. Skarmory. I don't have much to say about Skarmory besides the fact that it looks really cool. It's a bird with armor, basically. And that's a cool concept I think they've really created. And plus, since Generation 2 introduced the steel typing, Skarmory was my favorite out of that. I do like Steelix a lot. Fortress is meh, and Scizor is pretty cool as well. But the Skarmory being an armor bird just really is, I think, one of the most creative things Pokemon's ever done. And I love running weakness policy on Skarmory with Agility, Iron Head, Drill Peck, and Rock Slide, or Night Slash. I sometimes run. It's really fun to use, especially since it's really bulky. It can take a hit and then dish one back harder, and that's why I like Skarmory. Number 6. Weavile. I love this Pokemon so much. It's got the 2 best typings in the entire game. Not the best, but personally, my opinion, the greatest. It fits it so perfectly. Ice and Dark. If you just look at it, that's probably what I guessed at first. It got a new Pokémon tournament. It's in a Pokémon tournament. I'm not really into that as much, but I will check into that. I thought that was pretty cool. There's a lot of things about Weavile I do like, especially because of its typing. Is mainly it's my reasoning actually. I haven't used it too much. It's very fast and useful, which is one reason. I mean, I do use it like in competitive, but throughout the story, I haven't used it as much. I know Cyrus owns one, and in the anime, Weavile is pretty sick, and that's why I like Weavile. Number 5. Excadrill. This is my second time playing through the game. I think this was Black 2, I believe I was playing. Yeah, Black 2. I had an Excadrill, and it was amazing. I really like this Pokemon. Its design is cool. It's not that tall, and it's one of my personal favorite moves, Drill Run. It looks so cool, especially when it uses it in the anime, which, and by the way, Clay and Iris owned. Being like it's really good Pokemon and all. Not much else to say about it. It helps, just like Simipour, it helps me out through the story, but I just enjoyed it more than Simipour because it's Simipour. Let's be real. But an Excadrill is pretty good to use too in battle, and that's why I like Excadrill. Number 4. Hydreigon. Now, when you look at that, it's obviously a dragon type. My favorite dragon type of all time. The 3-headed dragon is just sick in its own right already. It's got that dark typing, which is one of my favorite typings as well. And I used it on every single Unova team I had, except for the first one, which I mentioned earlier. I in the games, Getsus, you can't deny that Getsus. You had a hard time. Well, at least I had a hard time battling Getsus and that underleveled Hydreigon, because Hydreigon, it takes to be a Hydreigon at level 64. That's the highest I think it is, or Volcarona. I'm not sure at the moment because I use Volcarona in one of my adventures through Unova 2, and it evolves at level 50 from Zwellius. It's just amazing. Everything about it, its design's good, and that's what I like about Hydreigon. Number 3. Torterra. Time for another story. My first Pokemon game, unlike every other Pokemon YouTuber I've known, whose first games are either from Gen 1 or Gen 2, mine was actually from Gen 4. That's why a lot of these Pokemon are from Gen 4. A lot of my favorites, at least, are from Gen 4. Like, if you had a top 10 through 20, that'd be Gen 4 mostly. But Torterra was my first Pokemon. Well, actually, that line was. Turtwig, I chose Turtwig in Pokemon Diamond, which was my first game, and I evolved it to Grottle and Torterra. Then I traded it away to my brother, who got me into the Pokemon, and then I finally got it back like around a year ago, and ever since then, Torterra has been my buddy. Even though I don't own one in the new generation games, it's so awesome. It's got a unique typing. Everything about it is great, and just it being my first Pokemon put it up there pretty high on my list. That's why I like Torterra. Number 2. Electivire. Now, Electivire was actually my favorite Pokemon for the longest time. Seriously, after I got into it more, Electivire was my favorite Pokemon until not so long ago, actually. I'm a huge fan of humanoid Pokemon, even though Elekid's pretty cute. Electabuzz I'm not a big fan of, but Electivire really takes the cake on like what a human-like Pokemon should look like. And its electric typing is really cool too. And in the anime is where Electivire really I liked. Paul was one of my favorite rivals of all time in the anime, and especially seeing Electivire and its evolutionary line taking on Infernape and its evolution line during the Diamond and Pearl series was one of my favorite things to watch, and of course the ending to it was amazing. One of my favorite match in all of the anime, and just its ability motor drive is pretty useful too. And I just really like this Pokemon. I don't have much else to say, and that's why I like it. And number one. I think this one is painfully obvious. Number one is Caterpie. No. I'm just joking. It's Galate, obviously. What else could it be? It's my mascot. It's everything on this channel, basically. Galate is definitely my favorite Pokemon for many reasons. One reason being that it's typing Psychic Fighting, though not my favorite. I do like the idea of it being skillfully, physically, strong and having some power in his mind at the same time. I think that's really creative. Even though it's not creative, it's creative. It's hard to explain. And Gallade, like Electivire, is a human-like Pokemon, and it kind of looks like me, way more than Electivire does. Skinny. He's got the blade arms, which is really cool looking. It's got a Mega Evolution, which is freaking sick if you've seen it with that cape and all. My gosh, Mega Gallade is the coolest looking Pokemon ever out there, in my opinion, of course. And there's many other reasons. I'm not going to get into it too much, but yeah, Gallade's definitely my favorite Pokemon, and it deserves to be my mascot, and that is why it is.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, leave a like, follow me on Twitter, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it.